Hello friends, and in this video I will teach you how to learn English. And for this presentation uses for the student with English level is B1 or intermediate. If your English is not in this levels, so I think it is okay, right? To learn with me, yeah. And so from now to onwards, I will create a series presentation like this to teach English for you and also to help me improve my English, right? Yeah. Teaching English is my interest. Yeah, my interest. That's why I will compose a lot of English lecture, and then I will record and post on YouTube and also on TikTok. Okay, and for the first lesson, we will learn the topic food is a fuel of pleasure. Yeah, and in one lesson, I think I will record for us 4 to 5 videos. And for one videos, we will focus on one English skill. Yeah, and in these videos, we will learn about reading and speaking skills. Okay, so firstly, let's see about part A. What kind of food or dishes do you associate with these countries? So, friends, can you tell me 3 most common dishes of the United States, China, France, and Japan? Yeah. So you can pause the video and think about the 3 most common dishes of these countries, and as you can say by yourself, right? Because we are learning English and we need to interact. But because I cannot see your face, so I cannot interact with you. But we interact right through this video. So if you need the time to think, so you can pause the video. Okay, and for me, for the 3 most common dishes of the countries, United States. Firstly, about tater toast. Tater toast, it is fried potatoes. Yeah, fried potatoes and Cobb salads. It is so easy, right? And post roast. Post roast, as you can understand, for this kind of fish that there are many kind of meat, such as beef, chicken, or pork, right? And you cook inside the pot, yeah, with soup. And in China, we have 3 most common dishes are fried noodles. It is so easy, right? Hot pot, yeah, it is also popular in Vietnam. And dumplings. Dumplings, it is also popular in Vietnam, right? It is one kind of a cake, I call cake. It is made up from white flowers, wheat flowers. It is made up from wheat flowers with powder. Yeah. And in France, there are 3 most popular dishes: duck liver paste, soft-boiled eggs, and rooster in the white. Rooster, it is chicken, right? Okay. And in Japan, sushi. Yeah, sushi is the most popular dish in Japan, right? And for sushi, that we will have raw materials such as raw materials or fresh materials such as fish, beef, pork, right? And we will use rice to cover this fresh material and we eat. Yeah. And udon, it is one kind of a noodle. And kashipan, it is one kind of bread, but the shape is circle. Okay. And next part B, read the interviews with Alice and Jacqueline. Match the question with their answers. Okay, firstly, all of you need to read the interviews. And here, yeah, we have 6 questions, right? That interviewers will ask Alice and Jacqueline. And we talk to women around the world about their relationship with food. For the first question, interview will ask, is food a pleasure for you? Second question, what do you normally eat in a typical day? And for the third question, did you ever cook? Question 4, did you ever eat unhealthy food? And how did you feel about it? And question 5, are you trying to cut down on anything at the moment? And for the question 6, are people's diets in your countries getting better or worse? So to help you can remember this question, so I think you can take the picture. Yeah, because we will move on at the next slide. Okay, next slide we will see, right? How Alice answer for those questions. Alice Freeman is a lawyer from San Francisco. So firstly, you need to read all of these paragraphs. How Alice answered to this question. Yeah, and then you will put the number question in the right answer. Yeah, in here we have paragraph, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. So firstly, you need to read, okay? Because we are learning English, right? So I will read. Yeah. If I do this, yeah, we'll master the videos is very long, but it is okay, no problem, because I want to teach English for you. So when I pronounce and read for this answer, so you can imitate my pronunciation. Okay, for A, right? I think people are trying to improve their diets, but they are doing it the wrong way, right? By following the diets like the Atkins diet. Atkins diet, for this diet, right? It is its work followed by many people in 1960s. For Atkins diet, on kind of diet that you will reduce or you do not eat the food contain carbohydrates, such as for rice. Yeah, because rice contain a lot of carbohydrates, right? For another foods contain a lot of sugar, so you will absolutely discard from your diet. Personally, I don't think it's very healthy to cut out entire groups of foods like carbohydrates. Okay, and B, not very often. I don't have the time or talent to cook for meals. I usually hit up a frozen meal or order a takeaway. And C, sometimes I get fast food for lunch. I have to admit that I love French fries. I feel terrible about this afterwards, but I don't do it very often. And D, I usually have both of cereals or toast for breakfast. For lunch, I eat at the restaurants near my office. I prefer Japanese or Indian food. I usually eat rice with fish and vegetables. Soup or sushi, I don't eat meat, but I eat a lot of fish. In the evening, I just have something light at home. And E, I am trying to cut down on the amount of fat I eat. I'm also trying to eat more wholemeal bread. And F, not really. I enjoy certain kinds of food, but most meals are just fuels to keep me going through the day. Okay, so do you remember before I say to you, right? So take the picture, and I forget now. I come back to the previous slides and I take the picture for this question. Okay, for the question 1, right? Question 1, let's see. If food's a pleasure for you, and let's see how Alice answer, right, for this question. As you can see in the paragraph F, Alice say, not really. I enjoy certain kinds of food, but most meals are just fuel, right, to keep me going through the day. Okay. For the second question, what do you normally eat in a typical day? And let's see how Alice answer. I usually have a bowl of cereals or toast for breakfast. For lunch, I eat at the restaurant near my office. I prefer Japanese or Indian food. I usually eat rice with fish and vegetables, soup or sushi. I don't eat meat, but I eat a lot of fish. In the evening, I just have something light at home. Okay. And for the question 3, do you ever cook? Alice answer, not very often. I don't have the time or talent to cook for meals. I usually hit up a frozen meal or order a takeaway. Okay. For the question 4, do you ever eat unhealthy food? How do you feel about it? And Alice say, right, sometimes I get fast food for lunch. I have to admit that I love French fries. I feel terrible about it afterwards, but I don't do it very often. Okay. And for question 5, are you trying to cut down on anything at the moment? And Alice answer, right, I am trying to cut down on the amount of fat I eat. I'm also trying to eat more wholemeal bread. Okay. And for the final question, are people's diets in your countries getting better or worse? And I say, right, I think people are trying to improve their diets, but they are doing it the wrong way by following diets like the Atkins diet. Personally, I don't think it's very healthy to cut down entire groups of foods like carbohydrates. Okay. And for next, we will see the answers of Jacqueline, right? Jacqueline Fabres is an IT consultant from Lyons. Okay. Okay, so now we will read the answer of Jacqueline, right? And yeah, I do this to help you can improve your pronunciation. For answer A is right. Jacqueline says, yes, I cook every evening for my family. I often make a soup or traditional French dishes like bourguignon, which is a kind of beef and dressed white stew. And then we have cheese and salad. It may seem a lot, but we don't eat a big portion. What's important for me is quality, not quantity. And B, Jacqueline says, yes, I'm trying to eat less chocolate. And C, Jacqueline says, I think people's diet are getting worse and worse. It's quite strange because we have a lot of information now about how bad fast food is for you. I am afraid it's a problem in a lot of European countries, right? And for D, not at home, I think most of the food I cook is healthy, but occasionally when I eat out, I have something unhealthy, but it doesn't worry me. And for E, Jacqueline answered, yes, definitely for me, good meals with the families make me happy. And for the answer F, I'm quite traditional and I have 3 main meals a day. For breakfast, I like hot chocolate and bread and butter with honey or jam. For lunch, I often eat in restaurants with my colleagues. I usually have vegetables and meat or fish, but I love pastas and rice too. In the afternoon, I have fruits with biscuits or a piece of chocolate. In the evening, I have a proper meal with my family. Okay. So now we will see the question of interviewers, right? How to ask Jacqueline. For the first question, is food a pleasure for you? Let's see how Jacqueline answered, right? Jacqueline said, yes, I cook every evening for my family. I often make soup or traditional French dishes like bourguignon, which is a kind of beef and dressed white stew. And then we have cheese and salad. It may seem a lot, but we don't eat a big portion. What's important for me is quality, not quantity, right? Through this answer already proved that Jacqueline thinks food is a pleasure for her. Okay. And for the question 2, what do you normally eat in a typical day? And Jacqueline say, I'm quite traditional and I have 3 main meals a day. For breakfast, I like hot chocolate and bread and butter with honey or jam. For lunch, I often eat in a restaurant with my colleagues. I usually have vegetables and meat or fish, but I love pasta and rice too. In the afternoon, I have fruits with biscuits or a piece of chocolate. In the evening, I have a proper meal with my family. Okay. And for the question 3, interview asks Jacqueline, do you ever cook? And Jacqueline says, yes, definitely. For me, good meals with the families make me happy. And question 4, do you ever eat unhealthy food? How do you feel about it? And Jacqueline says, not at home. I think most of the foods I cook is healthy. But occasionally, when I eat out, I have something unhealthy. But it doesn't worry me. Yeah. And for the question 5, are you trying to cut down on anything at the moment? And Jacqueline said, yes, I'm trying to eat less chocolate, right? And for the final question, are people's diets in your country getting better or worse? And Jacqueline said, I think people's diets are getting worse and worse. It's quite strange because we have a lot of information now about how bad fast food is for you. I am afraid it's a problem in a lot of European countries. Okay. Now we move on to the next part. Part C, read the interviews again and answer the question below. Write A if the answer of Alice and J if the answer of Jacqueline or B for both of them, right? With the question often is in restaurants. Okay, so now I recommend you take picture. Yeah, take picture for the paragraphs, right? Okay, yeah, so you can test how Jacqueline's answer, right? Okay, it is okay, no problem, because I already composed next slide and will show to you why we say this statement is of Alice or is of Jacqueline or is of both of them. For the first statement, often is in a restaurant, and you know who? Yeah, for both, right? Why I say both? Let's see. You please notice the underlined sentence. Yeah, this is Alice's answer, right? Alice says, for lunch, I eat at the restaurants near my office, right? And for Jacqueline says, you can see for underlined sentence, for lunch, I often eat in the restaurants with my colleagues. Yeah. Okay, and let's see for the next statement. It's quite a lot of sweet things. Who? Yeah, it is Jacqueline, right? Yeah, let's see how Jacqueline says. For breakfast, I like hot chocolates and bread and butter with honey or jam. And surely, right? For these foods are very sweet, right? Yeah. And Jacqueline also says, in the afternoon, I have fruits with biscuits or a piece of chocolate. Yeah. And for next statement, is ready prepared food. Who? It is Alice, right? And you can see the Alice answer. Yeah. Please notice underline sentence. I don't have the time or talent to cook for meals. I usually heat up a frozen meal or order a takeaway, right? Heat up a frozen meal. Frozen meal is mean that she bought, right, from the food store, and other people already cook for her, and now she want to eat. She just need to heat up, right? Okay. And for next statement, okay, next statement, let's see. Cooks a big meals at home. It is Jacqueline, right? Yeah, let's see for the underlying sentences. Jacqueline says, yes, I cook every evening for my family. I often make soup or traditional French dishes like bourguignon, which is a kind of a beef and dressed white stew, and then we have cheese and a salad. It might seem a lot, but we don't eat a big portion. What's important for me is quality, not quantity, right? Yeah, Jacqueline say. And for next statement, enjoy eating. It is Jacqueline, right? Yeah, you can see for underlying sentences. First sentence, I'm quite traditional and have three main meals a day. So anyway, she enjoy food, right? So that's why she has enough 3 meals a day. If for you consider food is fuel for you, right? You will skip breakfast or lunch, and you do not care the main meal so much. Okay. And she also said, right, in the evening, I have a proper meal with my family's proper meal, right? Yes, through this sentence, you clearly understand that for Alice, surely she consider food is a pleasure. Yeah, it's a pleasure for her. Okay. And for Alice, right, do not think food is a pleasure for her, right? You can see this sentence. Alice say, I enjoy certain kinds of food, but most meals are just fuel, right? Just fuel to keep me going through the day. Okay. And next statement, feels bad when she is unhealthy. It is Alice, right? You can see for this sentence, Alice says, sometimes I get fast food for lunch. I have to admit that I love French fries. I feel terrible about this afterwards, but I don't do it very often. Okay. And let's see, next statement is trying to eat less of something. It is both, right? And let's see firstly for Alice how she says, right? Alice says, I'm trying to cut down on the amount of fat I eat. I'm also trying to eat more wholemeal bread. Okay. And for Jacqueline says that, yes, I'm trying to eat less chocolate. Okay. And for statement, prefer having good food to having a lot of food. It is Jacqueline, right? Jacqueline said that what's important for me is quality, not quantity. Is that right? Yeah. and is negative about eating habits in her countries for both, right? And for Alice say that I think people are trying to improve their diets, but they are doing it in the wrong way by following a diet like the Atkins diet. Personally, I don't think it's very healthy to cut down entire group of foods like carbohydrates. And for Jacqueline said that I think people's diets are getting worse and worse. It's quite strange because we have a lot of information now about how bad fast food is for you. I am afraid it's a problem in a lot of European countries. Okay. Okay, now we will see the part D. Match the rest words and phrases with the definition. Yes, so for Alice there, so please take the picture and notice the red phrases or phrase words. Okay, please take the picture. Okay, good. Now we come back to the previous slides, right? And for Jacqueline and Daz, okay, please take the picture. Yeah, okay. Now we come back to the previous slide. Okay, and let's see, right? Please notice the red words or phrases, right? And you must with this definition. To have a meal in a restaurant, not at home. Do you know about the words or the phrase? It is eat down, right? It's meant to have a meal in a restaurant, not at home. And next definition, a sweet food made by bees, which people often eat on bread. Do you know? With yes, the word honey, right? Okay. And the quantity you eat of a kind of food during a meal, the quantity, right? You eat of a kind of food during a meal, it is portion, right? Okay. And to make cold food hot, it is the phrase, right? Heat up, yeah. And food you buy from restaurants to eat at home, yeah. You order, right? The food from a restaurant, and there is one person, right, brings that food for you and you stay at home to eat. It is takeaway, right? Okay. Food from animals or plants used for cooking, yeah, easy, oils, butter, etc. Do you know? It is fat, right? Yeah. And food prepared in a particular way, easy sushi, lasagna, etc. Yeah, it is this, right? Okay. And made from brown flour, it is a wholemeal, right? Okay. Liquid food often made of vegetables, easy tomatoes or onions. It is soup, right? Okay. Meat cooked for a long time in liquids, usually with vegetables. Yeah, it is stew, right? Okay. Okay, for the next part is which of those women do you think has a healthiest diet and why? Yeah, in here you just need to show your opinion, so you can pause the video and then you talk by yourself and you think who has a better diet. And for me, I think Jacqueline, right? Do you remember Jacqueline said that she has in the 3 main meals a day, right? Yes. And in evenings, she has a proper meal with her families, right? And another thing that do you remember? She said that she consider the quality of meals is much more important than the quantity, right? So through this, all of this proves that Jacqueline has a better diet in comparison to Alice, right? And for Alice, do you remember? She said that she just considers, right? Food is fuels to help her go through a day. Yeah, so it means that she did not care so much about the food, right? Yeah, and of course from that we can clearly understand that Alice does not have a good diet. Okay. Okay, and for the next post app, now interview each other with the question from on B. How similar are your eating habits? Yeah, do you remember for the question on B? We have 6 questions, right? Yes, so now you will see again for this question, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, and please take the picture. Yeah, please take the picture for this question. Yeah, let me take the picture, right? Okay. And you remember, take the picture. Okay. Now we come back previous viewers. Okay. And for this question, you will practice by asking your friends, your partners. Now you are learning with me. If you do not have your friends, right? So you can practice by yourself. So chat for the first question. If food's a pleasure for you, and you say yes, definitely, I love eating. Yeah. Okay, now we will practice, right? For the first question, is food a pleasure for you? Yeah, if you ask me, I will say that. Yeah, for me, I think food is a pleasure for me. Firstly, I have enough 3 meals in one day, and sometime at the weekend I also go to the restaurants to eat several special foods. Yeah, I want to change the taste of the food. Yeah, and for me, I do not eat the foods that contains so much sugars or fat because it is not good for my health. Yeah. And for the second question, what do you normally eat in a typical day? With this question, I can say, yeah, in the breakfast, I often eat noodles. Yeah, noodles, it is quite popular in Vietnam. And for almost Vietnamese, we eat noodles in the breakfast. And in lunch, yeah, because now I am working, so at the noon I cannot come back my home, so I have to eat in the canteen of the companies, right? Yeah, so I do not have option for every food, right? They give me, so I will eat. But usually in the lunch I will have a rice, fish, pork, tofu, and a vegetable. And even if I come back my home and I eat the dinner with my family, my mother prepared the dinner for us. So in dinner, I have a better meal, yeah, with a lot of meat, chicken, vegetables, and of course I cannot be lack rice, right? Rice is in every meals, right? In Vietnam, so we always have rice. Okay. And for the next question, do you ever cook? Yeah, for me, when I was studying at universities, yeah, I rent a house to live. So at the time, I cook. Yeah, I cook by myself. But now I am working and I'm living with my parents. So that I do not cook anymore because I'm so busy with my work. And for the question 4, do you ever eat unhealthy food? How do you feel about this? Unhealthy foods, I consider the foods contain a lot of fat or contain a lot of sugar. And they are unhealthy foods. And for me, I do not eat a lot of unhealthy foods. And for me, I think the fat foods is also unhealthy foods. And for me, sometimes 1 month or 2 months, I go to the supermarkets to eat fat foods. Actually, I just want to change the foods to enjoy the fast foods. Yeah, you know about the feeling that sometimes you should go to the restaurants, right, to eat all the kind of foods to change the taste of the foods. And for that feeling, it is so great, even though the food is not unhealthy for you. But I think it is okay because we just eat several times, right? For a long time, so about 1 month or 2 months, we just eat on time. So I think it does not affect so much to our health. Okay. And for the next question, are you trying to cut down on anything at the moment? Actually, for me, I think I'm addicted in drinking coffee. And for one days, I drink around 3 cups of coffee. And I also add so much sugar. So I think I need to reduce sugar. Yeah, reduce sugar. And for the question 6, are people's diet in your countries getting better or worse? In my opinion, I think for the diet of the people in Vietnam countries, right? In my countries, because I'm living in Vietnam, are getting worse because for all of some people, right? They are so busy with their work, so they cannot have proper meals in mornings or afternoon, right? So usually they just have the proper meals in evenings. But with some couples, right? Even though in the evenings they do not cook at home, they go to the restaurants to eat. So I think for the foods in restaurants are not so healthy for us. Just for the kind of foods, right? We buy fresh materials, yes, to cook. Yeah, so they are good for our health. Yeah. So, anyways, and another thing that I think for some people in Vietnam we drink so much coffees, I think so. Too much for me. I drink so much coffee and I add a lot of sugars, and it is a bad habit. Yeah, bad habits, and it is not good for health. Okay. Okay, and if you want to practice more, so you can pause the videos. So I think if you follow my channel to learn English, so you can call your friend learn with you. I think it is so great. Both of you will follow my instruction in learning English, and you can practice with your friends. Yeah, and if you have any questions, so you can post your question in the chat box, right, in the comment box of this video. Okay, now let's come back to the previous slide, and okay, now to the homework, right? If you want to learn English with me, let's read the text describe the diets of Alice and Jacqueline. Do you remember? Yeah, let's read the text describe the diets of Alice and Jacqueline. And part D, do you remember? For part D that you need to fill in the red phrases with definition. Yeah, you read and for this test, right? For 5 times, and then record the video and post in the comments of these videos. Yeah, so it is the homework I give to you. And if you seriously learning English with me, so I feel very happy if you follow my instruction and do homework, record the videos and post in the comment box. Be patient in learning English with me. You will be successful. I think if you follow my channel for learning English for around 6 months, I think you can speak well and also improve your listening skill, because from now to onwards, right, I have much of free time, so I will compose a lot of English presentation, includes in the 4 skills, yeah, listening, speaking, writing, and also reading. Okay, thank you for watching my videos, and see you in next video.